Del Rio, Texas, home of Lake Amistad. Your host, Rob Wade. Two guys who dive. This episode of Two Guys Who Dive, recorded live Saturday, 17th January, 2015. Episode 128, Life's Little Disappointments. Well, welcome everybody once again to another exciting episode of Two Guys Who Dive, and you'll notice that I am again alone, and there's a reason for that, and we'll be getting into a little bit more detail about that a little bit later, but we want to hit some of our normal opening topics that we talk about. First of all, let's hit a couple of movie reviews. After a little bit of a dry spell that I think I've talked about at length in previous episodes, I shared with you last episode that we did finally get to see Into the Woods, and it was well done, with the exception of Meryl Streep. And Johnny Depp was blah. But we did, of course, we had our movie episode last time, and sharing with you a number of the movies that we're looking forward to going to see this year. So first off on that list was the movie Taken 3, which is the last one, evidently, that Liam Neeson wants to. He really, as I understand, he didn't really want to do a third one, but they kind of worked it out, twist his arm a little bit. I'm sure you offer enough money. Actors will do just about anything. So they got him to do this third movie, and interestingly and misleadingly, they advertise it as "This Ends Tonight." Well, I guess it's not totally misleading. As far as Liam Neeson is concerned, yes, that movie was the final in that series for him. But it kind of makes you think that the movie is actually a completion or continuation or whatever you want to call it of the storyline that was carrying through Taken and Taken 2. The fact is, and I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen the movie, the fact is it has almost zero reference, zero continuation of the first two movies. So there is no storyline that carries through from 1 to 2 to 3. That storyline died at the end of 2. And so matter of fact, the only reference, and we have to kind of listen for it. The only reference to the what's the word I'm looking for? Events. The only reference you find to the events of 1 and 2 are made by the FBI agent in this movie, and it's a very quick reference, and it moves on. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but nonetheless, it was a good movie. It was again showcased him, but we do see some of the other folks whom he are in his world as a former Black Ops type guy. So it was if you like the first two, I think you'll like this one. It was a nice finish, I guess, to the series. So check that out. Taken 3. I would give it for that genre, I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. Another movie that was on our list, interestingly, it totally caught me by surprise, was Predestination. Let me see if I can call up from my movie list where that. Okay, that was going to be second. That was second on my list. Supposedly it was going, and I found these even though I didn't share with you the order of release, or as far as the actual dates. And I have a huge sneeze coming on. No, excuse me there. I'm surprised I didn't wake up the dogs, who are, of course, behind me. I don't know if you can see. What's that? Yeah, you can see one of them there. There, I guess both of them. Yeah, they crowd me right to the edge of my seat. It's very frustrating. Very uncomfortable, too. Anyway, Predestination was the second in the list of movies, certainly for January. And I pretty much listed these in the order that they were expected to be released. And again, studios can always change when they're going to release something. But for the most part, when they advertise it, it's going to. And I hadn't seen much on this movie. Predestination. Matter of fact, let me call up see if I can find a poster for it. Movie poster. Predestination. Interesting. There we go. It's in multiple languages. Here we go. Let's bring it up. All right. Show larger. Yeah. Let me switch to screen region. Oh, that's not working right. Let me add it back in here for you guys. Which, by the way, there was a new release of XSplit software, and lo and behold, they still haven't fixed the issue with interesting with the capture. If as a matter of fact, should I demonstrate it? No, I won't. Interestingly, when you select an area for a screen region, you're supposed to be able to just actually click on the window, and it will automatically highlight the window, and as in this case, the browser, and it grabs that. Well, unfortunately, all you end up seeing is the top bar that I'm moving my cursor across here. You see this top bar, and you see the menu bar across here, but everything in the middle here is all white. So it doesn't show any of the contents. No text, no images. It's just white. So it's very frustrating, and I sent them. I posted on their website again. It's like, really, guys, come on! After 6 different versions, you still haven't fixed this issue. So anyway, but I digress. So here is the movie poster for Predestination. It looks pretty interesting. I thought it was going to be kind of like Looper, but excuse me, but it really wasn't. And what I found let me back up. The interesting thing was we were flipping around, was it Voodoo? The Voodoo app? Yeah, the Voodoo app, which is a way, for those of you who don't know, Voodoo is one of those services that allows you to aggregate your digital copies of movies. So you'll notice if you go to Walmart or wherever and you buy a Blu-ray movie, you have the option, usually in the various selections, to buy one that says, Blu-ray, DVD, and digital version. And then there's a code that you can input into Ultraviolet or one of these other services or Voodoo, and it unlocks a stored digital version that you can watch on pretty much any device, which is pretty cool, because we live in a world with tablets and smartphones, etc. And so we like to consume our content pretty much wherever we can. So I was flipping through. I saw, you can see like new movies added to their cadre, and I was shocked to see that Predestination was available for renting. And I thought, oh, you know what? We were looking for a movie to see, and I said, well, this happens to be on my list, and it's just, I guess in this brave new world, we should be aware, if we're movie buffs, we should be aware that there are sites that that will make available movies that are about to be released via a pay-per-view kind of situation or a rental situation. So, and this happened to be one of those. I thought it was pretty interesting. I cannot tell you much about the movie without giving it away. It is a very slow starting movie, and it kind of deals with some uncomfortable topics, but it's the reality of the way things, a way certain things are. If you can handle those things, a little bit of sensitivity, I definitely wouldn't recommend it for kids, but it was such a twist on the whole time travel thing and who you think you are, or who you were in your past and how that figures into things. And let me just say that if you are a serious buff in time travel stories, you will find, as you move towards the end of this movie, you will find it almost impossible to get your head around. Because all I can say is, without giving things away, is this truly is a which came first, the chicken or the egg kind of storytelling. And as they reveal certain things of camera angles, etc., there's a very M. Night Shyamalan, how do you pronounce his name? M. Night Shyamalan feel to the story. So that when you get to the end, you're like, okay, I thought it was a good ending. I just was I wasn't prepared, although there were hints, for how circular the movie was. So if you get a chance to see it, like I said, there's a reason why it's a slow starting movie, because there's intentional storytelling so that you can understand more as the movie builds up to its climax. So it's pretty interesting movie. So neat twists, well edited, but I keep wondering if maybe there's like a director's cut version that would help flesh out a little bit more. Because again, this is truly a which came first, the chicken or the egg kind of a movie. So I would give it, for its genre, an 8.5 or a 9 because of how unique the story was and how well they set it up as far as the science fiction bit. Although what's interesting is it falls under sci-fi, but it almost doesn't qualify as sci-fi except for the bigger storyline. What makes all of this possible is totally science fiction. Okay, so I do recommend that if you're into the time travel movie and you can follow some of the things that were going on in this movie. So that was pretty cool. Going back to the notes here. Okay, tech news. Microsoft has, if you haven't heard, Microsoft's got a big deal going on this week. On the 21st, they call it their consumer reveal or consumer conference or something like that. It's expected that they will be announcing or showing to everybody, giving everybody the first look at the consumer preview for the Windows 10 tech preview. Right now, those who are in the have volunteered for the the Insider program. That's the word I'm looking for. For those who volunteered to participate in the Insider program, you were given a way to download and install or upgrade your Windows 8.1 computer or tablet or laptop to Windows 10 Technical Preview. And I've made no bones about it. I hate it. I love I love pretty much everything about Windows 8, and especially 8.1, with the exception of the things that they already had started to do, which is puking what I call desktop memes on top of the Metro. I love the Metro side. I get angry at people who insist that you can't be productive with Windows 8.1. The fact is, you can live all on the desktop if you want. And with Windows 8, you can have it boot directly to the desktop. You can live all on the desktop. You don't have to do a darn thing in the start menu, really, if you don't want to. So anybody who tells you different, it's simply because they haven't, they just don't like Metro, and so they've got no use for it. Me, I love the live tiles because I love my Windows Phone. I love the Metro environment. I love the way the applications look, and they're slowly improving those. I don't use Outlook as far as a desktop program anymore. I've got Office 365, so I could install, well, it's installed. I could use Outlook, the traditional legacy app, but I hate it. I have to use it at work, and I hate it. And I used to love it. That was all I used. I now use the Windows Mail app exclusively as far as on the PC, unless I'm doing some things on the Outlook.com website, because it all flows together. I find the regular Outlook now just busy and ugly and messy. And I don't need that. I like clean, streamlined. I like organization. The other thing that I get frustrated with folks on is the fact that they talk about, well, I like, with Windows 10 Preview, I like all the virtual desktops. In other words, they like pretending virtually that they have 8 different screens going, that they have different things on each screen. I'm sorry. There is no way you can convince me that you can get a lot of work done that way. All that is just chaos. That tells me that you are splitting your attention, because we do not multitask. That is worse than a lie. We switch task. So you're switching your thought processes between all these different things and screens, and you're not getting anything done. You're pretending you're getting something done. You have convinced yourself and your coworkers and your boss you're getting something done. But I'm sorry, you're simply not. We have the capacity to balance 2, 3, maybe 4 things with any kind of perceived efficiency. And we're still switch tasking, but that's about it. If you are you're trying to balance more than that, all of it's suffering and all of it's falling behind. So what I find beneficial of Windows 8 and the Metro user experience is that it actually helps me to be much more streamlined, because I have to tell myself, in order to best utilize my screens, I'm going to only be keeping 2 or 3 things open. Now, where I had hoped that Windows 8 was going and that Windows 10 was going to take it was that that Microsoft would actually take the live tiles and make them super live tiles, make them interactive, so that they function very much like they do on the Windows Phone, and to some extent they do on Windows desktop and tablets. But you could actually interact with them in similar ways that you could with an actual legacy program window on your desktop, but without actually having to open the program. So you could flip to your start screen and, excuse me, and see a lot of things that are going on. See if there's anything that catches your attention. You can organize the tiles however you want. And if something draws your attention that, I need to take care of that, you simply, you can either interact with it, say it's a text or email or whatever, without actually opening the app. Or if it is really something that requires you to dive deeper into the program, into the app, then you could simply open it and do what you need to do. That's where I hope they were going. Now, with Windows 10 Technical Preview, what they've basically done is turned everything on the Metro side off and all your Metro apps just run as Windows on a desktop. I don't want to be stuck on the desktop. For instance, right now, the machine that I'm using for the podcast, I have 2 screens, as you can probably see from here. I have the 2 screens, and they're both running the desktop. Now, I can keep my right screen here as a desktop, or I can flip this main screen or the other one if I want to. I can flip it to the Metro side and do Metro apps. I could do multiple 2 or 3 or 4 Metro apps right here on the screen. But unfortunately, XSplit is a legacy program, and it only runs on the desktop. But that just goes to show you I can use this as a legacy machine if I need to. But I much prefer to run Metro apps. I mean, with touchscreens, a quick flip of the finger, and I can swipe up any Metro apps that I want, and that's what I do with my Surface Pro 3 over here. I have my show notes for the podcast here, and running on OneNote. Love that program, especially if you've got a pen device, a tablet with a pen. I've got it there, and then a quick swipe of my finger, and I'm over on the desktop where I have the legacy streaming chat room for the show, as well as I'm watching messages coming through Facebook. So those are in Windows on the desktop. So easily, and if I wanted to, I could simply pull over and drop the Metro side on there and still see the desktop all in one screen, but without having everything run on the desktop, which is what I don't want. I don't want a bunch of stuff. I don't want new things. I don't want new wine in old wineskin, and that's exactly what Microsoft has been doing with Windows 10. So on the 21st, they're supposedly revealing the quote-unquote consumer preview. And so far, everything I've seen, it's going to be as horrible and crappy as the tech preview. It's still going to be nothing but the desktop and all the Metro stuff on there. I will consider, because I'm running it on a test machine over here in the studio, I will consider Windows 10 upgradable if I can actually configure it to function just like Windows 8.1, where Metro apps run where they're supposed to, desktop apps run where they're supposed to. And I get all my charms bar, and I get all of the swipe from the left and the right. That is convenient. It's great. I love it. And even with the mouse and keyboard. Love it with the mouse and keyboard. A lot of people complain that, oh, well, it's not keyboard and mouse friendly. I'm like, that's bull. That's bull. I've gotten to where I'm so used to doing things with the mouse and keyboard that when I have to sit down at a Windows 7 machine, which most of the machines at work are, I find myself still wanting to do certain gestures with the mouse, especially, that I can do in Windows 8 right now, but I can't do in Windows 7, and I can't do in Windows 10. So it's regressing. It's going backwards. So I'm not having very high expectations at all for this. But those of you who are stuck in the old desktop meme and you hate Metro, you're probably going to love Windows 10. And I'm just really disappointed. But also there is a hint that possibly Windows 10, which they're no longer calling it Windows Phone, they're just calling it Windows 10 for the phone, or Windows 10 Mobile, sounds like they're going backwards, will be revealed. It won't be available as far as I know, but as far as a preview, but it will be revealed. So, there's no way I'm putting it on my perfectly good, awesome Lumia 1020. And again, no new flagship devices being announced. Now, I might, just so I can, I don't like to criticize something unless I've actually, as far as tech is concerned, unless I've actually tried it. And that's why I can say with authority my opinion on Windows 10, because I've got it and it's a piece of junk. But I may have to go pick up an inexpensive Windows phone, like a 635, which you can get for $69, I think now. I may pick one of those up and register it with the Insider program, just so I can put Windows 10 for phone on it and again, be able to comment with authority outside of just seeing other people's videos and screenshots, etc., and description of what's going on. So anyway, that's all on the 21st, I think 9 o'clock Pacific time. So, and if you go to the website, there's a link you can follow to actually watch the announcement live. Meanwhile, a guy that I follow a lot, I don't find myself agreeing with all the time, but he's a fan of the Windows platform, and he was Paul Thurrott is formerly of the winsupersite.com. Well, he's launched his own branded website, Thurrott.com. And let me switch to screen region so you can see what it looks like here. So just go to www.thurrott, that's 2 R's and 2 T's.com. And so he's got his website here now, which is pretty cool. And again, it just launched today. It just became available for people to go to today. So I've been starting to check it out and see what's going on with it. So looking forward to seeing some good reports. He always tells a lot of details about Windows ecosystem, including the Xbox, the tablets, the Windows Phone, etc. So looking forward. Congratulations to him on that. Looking forward to some great reporting, just like he always did on winsupersite.com. Let's see. Also, if you use Outlook.com, which I do, and why would you not? The cool thing, let me open that up too. Outlook.com is one of the access ways, I guess, to Microsoft's cloud. Their cloud is actually OneDrive, which is housed on the Azure cloud servers, etc. And if you go to MSN.com, then that's kind of like your window to a lot of their stuff. I hate MSN. It's just how messy. I hate the politics. I just go directly to Outlook.com. Let's see. Let me switch to screen reach again. So if you go to Outlook.com, you got basically your website or your email. So you see you've got just similar to what you would see in the Mail app. And you can configure your views and everything. So you got your folders. You've got your actual list of emails that came in, whether they've been read or not. And then you got your preview window that you can use. And then you got all these different things that you can do with it. And of course, you can adjust your settings, etc. You can bring up your messaging, so you can interface your messaging. It's basically tied to Skype here, which is pretty cool. But here's the thing that a lot of people aren't aware of. And again, this is free. If you create an Outlook.com account, you have access to web versions of some of their core Office products. So you got your Outlook.com, you got your people, so it's basically that's your contacts and your calendar. And again, these are just like similar to the apps that are on your Windows 8 machine. Then you've got access to your actual OneDrive, and then you've got access to Word Online, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote Online. And then if you've got Office, you can go, which we have Office 365, you can go to it there. So one of the things that they've been adding features to the Outlook.com, the email portion, which are pretty cool. One of which is, and I probably don't have any emails with attachments that I can show you. But you can now save attachments directly to your OneDrive, which is cool because if you use that as your cloud storage, that means that as soon as you save it there, you can access it with any of your devices anywhere. That whether you're Apple, whether you're Android, whether you're insane like those. So anyway, so you can go to your OneDrive then, and then all of your folders are available there. Okay, and you'll see one that's for your for your attachments. And then you can move them wherever you need to. But it's a quick way to be able to pull off attachments, and then you can delete the email if you want to. You don't have to leave it sitting out there, taking up space on your email account. So I thought that's pretty cool. So anyway, if you are not using Outlook.com, I cannot recommend it highly enough. Very full-featured. You can integrate other email addresses as aliases in there, so you can see I have multiple email accounts pulled in there, and you can choose to have everything from those other email addresses all dump into your inbox, or you can have separate folders as I've got here. Again, quite a few options in the way you can organize how your email works, which is pretty cool. So anyway, now they have the feature that if you have attachments in Outlook, from Outlook.com, you can turn around, save it to your OneDrive, and then have it. Then you can access it with your OneDrive app on any device. So it's pretty cool. Or you can share it from there too. You don't have to forward the email out. You can just share the file or folder with other folks, which is pretty cool. All right, that takes care of our tech stuff. Yeah. All right. Restaurant reviews. Normally, if we bring a restaurant review, we're talking about some new place that we haven't tried before. It may not be new, but it's just one that we haven't tried before. And we just want to give you an idea. So if you happen to be in the Del Rio area and you're looking for a place to eat, of course, you can use TripAdvisor. And I typically post a lot of my reviews for restaurants, certainly for the dive travel that we go through. I do a lot of that. We post that on TripAdvisor. But if you happen to watch the podcast, you can see our comments about this. But this is a case where sometimes the performance is just so consistent, either good or bad, that you just need to comment on it. In this case, it's not good. Tara and I went to Applebee's, which we don't do that often because they're busy, which would indicate something to that they are popular, at least in Del Rio, and so service tends to be kind of slow, taking a long time to get a waiter or waitress, and taking a while to get your order, but we just wanted to try something different, so we went there and. As part of our movie night, and it was, again, a mistake. The last time we'd been there, which had been more than a month ago, I'm not a drinker per se, but I don't shy away. If I want to have an adult beverage, I have no problem having adult beverage. There's nothing to be ashamed of by that, but it is, if I feel like having a tequila sunrise, I'll have a tequila sunrise. If I feel like, having a mudslide, I'll have a mudslide. When we took our trip to Belize, I tried what they called, the Horny Monkey, and which was a kind of a banana, pineapple, cinnamon. It was very, very good drink, and I had a number of those during the week that we were there. One drink that I will have every once in a while around here at a restaurant, if it's available, is a mudslide, because it's basically just kind of a very lightly alcoholic milkshake. Okay, it's got lots of chocolate in it. I love it. Well, the last time we were there, they were out of ice cream. Couldn't do it. Went there this time, their ice machine or whatever, they had some similar excuse that we couldn't do a mudslide. I was like, what? I mean, I was nice about it. I'm not going to shoot the messenger. It's not the waitstaff's fault that their management is horrible about supply chain management, like Walmart. And that it's not their fault that the management is horrible about keeping up with their supplies and keeping up with the equipment, making sure it all operates correctly. So I was just really disappointed. I'm just telling you. We have time and time again received either horrible service at Applebee's here in Del Rio, or we have not been able to order something that we really had our heart set on ordering because they just are managed horribly. So we give Applebee's in Del Rio, Texas, a big thumbs down. So there's that. Let's see. All right. So the title of the episode tonight is Life's Little Disappointments. And I went on kind of a rant about dedication. And if you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't come up with excuses unless it really is a reasonable, like a family emergency or something like that, where you have to, it's totally something unforeseen and you back out. I understand those things. This is a totally volunteer thing. And so I kind of went on a little bit of a rant about that and got, after some conversations with, or a conversation with our co-host, Robert Garza, he explained that he's got a number of things going on that he just doesn't have the time that he once had to do the show, which is a shame because we designed this show around the two of us, and hence the name of the show, Two Guys Who Dive. So rather than rehash my rant from last week, you'll notice that our intro has changed because I felt at least that part of it needed to reflect the changes, that the reality of the way things are now, which is I am your venerable host. I'm it, Rob Wade. Just like you see in the little lower third here. For the short term, I still want to keep the title of Two Guys Who Dive because I still want to have guests, but I am putting it out there that if you are in the local area, if you're in the Del Rio area, and you would like to try out being co-host with me on Two Guys Who Dive, I cordially invite you. Just contact me through the various ways you can contact me here, as you see below. Robert, just follow me on Twitter or send me an email or jump on our Facebook page and post there. I really would like to have a co-host. You've seen, as I've done for half this year, that I can carry the show by myself, but it's much more entertaining for you and also for me if I actually have somebody bounce off of. That was the whole purpose for the design of this show. So I am looking for a new regular co-host. Robert has said that he would like to continue on as a guest host every so often, and by all means, I certainly am not slamming the door on him. I can't hold things against people. If their life changes, their life changes. It's just a shame because I think we have a great rapport on camera and in life, and it's just it's a shame that he doesn't have the time to continue on a regular basis. So every once in a while, you'll see him on the show. And but I really would like to have a more permanent, more regular co-host. So I'm putting that out there. I'm going to put it on the Facebook page, put it on the website, put it on Twitter, etc. If you are in the local area and you would like to try your hand at co-hosting, it's not difficult. You sit in a chair, you put headsets on, of which we have plenty, and you talk into a mic. But the microphone is just so everybody out there can hear the what you're saying and hear the conversation that we're having. It all can easily be this way. Now, if we have somebody in the chat room, by all means, we look for somebody to post something in there, and we comment on it. There's a delay, but we comment on it. You can help actually change the course or change the course of the show, or at least move it expand its scope simply by your comments or questions, which has certainly happened a number of times when our friend John Biven has commented out there, which he's expressed interest to at least come and guest one time. It's not something he's ever done, but he's looking forward to that. We just got to negotiate what that weekend is, because he John helps run a shelter, a children's shelter, and as you can probably imagine, that takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. Some other friends of ours who are part of our church, the Shermans, Ron and Anna Sherman, they run a similar outfit across the border in Mexico here. John's is down and across the border from Eagle Pass, Texas. So it's about a 50-minute drive from here. So it's a little bit more out of his way to do something like that. So I have no delusions that he could do this on a regular basis. So, interesting. If you're in the area and you'd like to try it out, we can bring you in without actually doing the live cast, but just practice with it. The beauty about this software is I can actually record, do a local recording, which is how we did our podcast in, our podcast in Belize, because the internet service was so weak there. We would have liked to have done the live streaming right from there, like we did in Curacao, Grand Cayman, but we ended up having to just do the local recording. So that's what we did. We did a local recording and then uploaded that later. So, but as far as anybody's concerned, it's live. So, if you would just like to try it out, see how you look, on set and on the show, we can come in and do a test, what they call a screen test. We can do a screen test with you. By all means, just kind of try some topics out. The software is very easy to work in that respect. And you don't have to do anything as far as that's concerned. You just got to sit there and look pretty and and chat and talk about things. And I will show, you'll see the agenda, you'll see the topics. And as a co-host, if you become a regular co-host, you can introduce topics that you would like to include in the show by all means. So, again, we're putting that out there. Two Guys Who Dive is looking for a new regular co-host, and no experience needed. Don't have to dress up fancy. As you can see, I kind of adopted the convention of wearing different dive t-shirts each show. Robert had different hats that he would wear on the show. So again, it's all about having fun, talking about things we want to talk about that include diving as well. So speaking of the diving, Atomic Aquatics, I subscribe to, and you should too if you're a diver. I'm losing my glasses here, my old man glasses. If you're a scuba diver, I recommend that you be well read. And one of the ways you can do that is subscribe to a couple of different magazines. There's Scuba Diving magazine, and then there's Sport Diver. One of the things I like about Sport Diver is that they do a lot of what they call Scuba Lab reviews where they test all this different equipment throughout the year. So you may see a Scuba Lab report that is a regulator shootout. So they test some of the newest regulators out there and give you ideas. Well, price versus features, what's the best value, etc. Wetsuits, masks, dive computers, BCs, all of that. And they came out with their special collector's edition, their Scuba Lab special collector's edition, looking at 165 gear previews. And some of these things were things that were announced just back in November at the DEMA, the Dive Equipment Manufacturers Association. And so one of the things that just jumped right out at me on the cover was a new mask, or rather an updated version of a mask by Atomic Aquatics. And it is the, that's not what I want, slideshow. There we go. It's the new Venom frameless. And the previous Venom frameless, which is also a very nice looking mask, sold MSRP'd for $199, but this one is MSRP'd at $30 cheaper, and I think it looks sharper. As a matter of fact, this view doesn't do, I think, it justice as far as the look of the full-on front view look of the mask. There we go. So this is the cover of the magazine. I love the way this thing looks. You'll notice that it's what they call frameless, meaning it's one single lens. So there's nothing other than the nose pocket. There's nothing obstructing your view. And because it's got that reverse teardrop kind of a shape, whereas where you can look downward, there's much more visibility downward. So, a typical challenge for scuba divers is that if you're looking down to try and adjust, buckles, D-rings, connect something, disconnect something, look at your feet, whatever it is, that some of your less deep masks can obstruct your downward view, and you're like trying to bury your chin into your chest practically to see downward enough to get a clear shot at what you're looking at. And I just love the way this mask looks. Let me go to Atomic Aquatics here. There we go. Typing is fundamental. Atomic. There we go. All right, let me go switch to screen reading. You can see their website. So here's their website, atomicaquatics.com, and they have a number of things. Which one of the things about Atomic Aquatics, which if you've moved past your basic equipment needs, and you're now moving into a little bit more of higher function, higher capability, or fashion, I have to say Atomic Aquatics is way up there as far as style, because a number of their pieces, their equipment pieces, come with either interchangeable color accents or they themselves come in variety. So, for instance, if you look at products, let's look at masks, and they don't actually even have the new one on their website, but here's the previous version of the Venom frameless, and it looks cool too. I love the accents, and they come in different colors, so you can see you can get them in a gray, loading, or blue. And again, those look sharp. Or red, and then they have this what they call anti-glare. So it's gray, but it's got an anti-glare kind of lens on it. So, and these are the ones that were $199. So the newer version, which I assume also comes in multiple colors, is $30 cheaper. Now on the split fins, they have a similar option. You can get them in multiple colors, and I'm like, I have so got to get the purple ones because I have Tusa split fins, but I love purple. If I can get stuff in purple, I wish they had the mask in purple. So anyway, so if you're into style as well, Atomic Aquatics has got quite a bit of variety. I was thinking, was it them that have essentials? Was it them that had once I could? I thought that they had a version that had different faces. Maybe not. I thought there was a version. T3, T2. No, that's kind of interesting. See through it. Maybe not. It's the Z series. Nope. Oh yeah, the Z series. So see, you can get these in different optional color kits as well. So I thought that's pretty awesome. So I may have to look into getting a Z3 in purple, so I can get my set matched up. Although I do love my Aqualung Titan regulator. I love that thing. But I just wish you could swap those out with different colors. That would be pretty cool. So anyway, Atomic Aquatics. So anyway, I love that new mask. So if you're looking for a frameless and looking for something that really just looks pretty spectacular, I think this is awesome. I'm curious to see once they actually show those on the website if these come in multiple colors too. Now, one of the things they describe about this mask is that it has the skirt is kind of two different materials and what they call a gummy bear kind of skirt, so it's very comfortable. And I'm like, okay, now that sounds awesome. And it also sounds like if it can survive dramatic weather changes and some abuse without disintegrating, that sounds like as a gummy bear kind of material, that's going to give you a great seal without giving you as much mask face. Because usually with the standard type of skirts around the mask, you could run into a problem of having the mask face where it's just pressing against your skin. Where the gummy bear would allow that seal because it's more flexible, but without as much pressure to do it. So you might be able to avoid the mask face thing. So I think I'm kind of jonesing for that. So I'll be taking a look at that as they start coming out with more information on those. Excuse me. Let's see. Also, Sherwood dive equipment. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull their website up. I should have done this ahead, shouldn't I? Rather than make you guys painfully wait. Sherwood Scuba. Let's see if that's the one. There we go. Switch screen region again. They make some pretty good looking regulators as well, but they are celebrating their 60th anniversary, which is pretty cool. So they've been doing this scuba diving stuff for 60 years. And actually, Sherwood is actually part of a family of equipment. Genesis does equipment that's basically a subline, I guess, of Sherwood. So good quality stuff. Like I said, my first gear, my first set of gear was largely Genesis, and loved it. My BC was Genesis. And I still have the Phantom. It's still great. It's probably got one of the hardest weight integrated pouches to remove accidentally. But it's an awesome setup, and the computer still works. And we're talking from 2000, so this thing is nearly 15 years old, and it still works great. So Sherwood, Genesis, all good stuff, but they're celebrating their 60th anniversary now. Also, a new website that's been actually 2 years in the making. I follow a number of groups on LinkedIn, and one of the regular people that post as part of the dive group that I'm subscribed to, that I'm a member of, or however you call it, in LinkedIn, has got a new website that's kind of it's doing something that a lot of websites are already doing, but it's kind of got some new. Oh man, I lost the page. There we go. New website called thedivingguide.com. Thedivingguide.com. So you can see what the website's like here. They kind of brought together a number of things like dive travel, ratings, as well as a social network. And a matter of fact, if you click here, oh, my lovely wife and producer has returned from her. The Upstagers was the local theater group community theater group they were part of, had a little get together today at Mr. Gaddy's Pizza, which is a popular pizza place here, to, I guess, do a number of things. But we're giving awards for our tech crew. One of the things that we've started doing, or kind of brought back that we used to do was we try to encourage people to work tech for the shows, and if you do so many shows, especially if you are it's encouraging being regular. Then you get awarded a special T-shirt for the tech crew, and you're recognized by the group and everything. It's pretty cool honor, and it's you're kind of one of the unsung heroes for the shows. The actors on stage get all the applause, although typically at the end of a show, when the on-stage cast is taking their bows, we typically also throw a acknowledgement and bow to the tech folks, so that the audience recognizes that we recognize that this show doesn't happen without the hard work of the tech crew. And very often, very often our actors will do on stage for one show and then end up doing tech for another. And then we do have people that you won't get them on stage no matter what you say, no matter what you do, but they will be happy to work sound or work lights or work be a stage manager or whatever, wrangle costumes. And so this is an opportunity to recognize the hard work that they do, because it's important. No show happens with just people standing up on stage. If you don't light them, you can't see them. If you don't mic them, you can't hear them. So anyway, so they had a nice little get together. I was kind of hoping it would be that I would be able to finish the show and be out there, but it started at 7, which is typically the latest I can get started with my show prep and get things going. So anyway, I digress. Let me switch back to the screen region. So the divingguide.com is this new website, and they're trying to encourage, it's 2 years in the making, and they're trying to encourage people to join it. So let's see. It says, welcome to the Diving Guide, the online global diving platform with independent information on your next diving trip, including locations, facilities, search tools, and reviews. Read here why we believe that we are different from other diving communities. So let's see why they think they are. So it's not just another scuba diving website. Well, it's all about planning your next dive or reliving your last one. So like I said, it's kind of a TripAdvisor / social Facebook kind of a thing. It combines information on dive locations, dive spots, facilities such as dive centers or hyperbaric chambers, it's important to know that you have those available if you're going to someplace, especially outside of your country of residence. It's good to know if you're going to Cozumel, for instance, that you have one or more chambers available in case a dive accident happens. Anyway, supported by specific filters, community reviews, and ratings. So again, like I said, it's sort of combining bits of TripAdvisor. Which, when I comment on a dive location, or when I comment on a hotel or whatever, because we don't go for any other reason really than to dive. So if we're going to a hotel, there's going to be comments about if they include a dive shop or dive operation. I'm going to comment on that, or I'm going to comment on dive operations that exist around the hotel that we're staying at for our dive vacation. And it looks like they give some history on how it started. Lots of diving information was available on the internet, but nothing was centrally structured and objective. I find that's kind of an interesting concept, that something is objective. If you're giving your opinion, your review on something, that is by definition subjective. So I guess the only way I guess what I think they meant to say with that being objective is that it's not sponsored by Patty or SSI or sponsored by a hotel chain or a travel agency. So it's objective in that sense. So it's true actual traveler opinions. But anyway, it says they couldn't find any website that gave a full range of unbiased information. Well, again, it's biased simply by the fact that you were there, you experienced it, and so that now colors your bias. So so they go into a list of things that they provide. So I'm going to start checking it out, and we'll see if it goes somewhere. I'll try anything like this once to see if it's going to provide a benefit. So if you're interested in joining that, becoming part of a new ground floor kind of social / TripAdvisor / information atlas, if you will, check that out. Just go to www.thedivingguide.com and sign up, and I'd be curious to hear your comments or ideas or reservations about that website too. So if you happen to visit there and have some comments, by all means, send them to post it on our Facebook page, or send us an email, or even better, comment on our show by jumping in the chat room with us while we're doing the show. So, all right, let me hit the last things here. Okay, speaking, I mentioned earlier the Upstagers. Today was a busy day, and the next few weeks will be pretty busy. My wife is going to have her directorial debut with a 2-person show. It's our first show of the 2015 season. It's called Souvenirs. It's a very interesting show based on a true story of a real person who existed, and she fancied herself a singer. She really wasn't, but she actually made it to Carnegie Hall. And again, this is a true story. So, it's interesting. There's an old joke that says, how do I get to, it's like somebody supposedly asking directions. How do I get to Carnegie Hall? And the response is, practice, practice, practice. Well, this woman, doesn't matter how much she practiced. She was horrible. When you're tone deaf, you're tone deaf. But being eccentric and having money and becoming a spectacle for some people. Today we see things go viral on YouTube, and really that is just the modern version of what this story is kind of about. Is YouTube gives the 15 minutes of fame to people who you're thinking, why in the world are they getting to be this visible? Look at the first part of the seasons of shows like American Idol. They make their bread and butter off of how really horrible some of these people who are convinced to get up there and sing and dance or whatever in front of judges, and you get to see and laugh at them, which was one of the many reasons why I don't watch those shows. But I say that to say that this story is basically an old school example of that. So my wife she's going to be having her directorial debut, and it stars a local favorite, Catherine McWilliams, who's a very accomplished singer, which makes this kind of a show a challenge because she has to make herself sound absolutely horrible in order to pull off the character. And we were working on sets today. This is the first day that we've been able to get into the theater and work on sets. And, always presents challenges of how you're going to accomplish this and accomplish that. And at different points, she and her co-host, Jared Griffith, were practicing on the baby grand that we have at the theater. And it just, being a singer myself and Tara being a singer, you just kind of cringe and laugh at the same time at the preposterous spectacle of someone who can sing quite well is having to sing so horribly. So, and it takes its challenge on your voice too. So it's a daunting task to sing if you're accomplished and trained to sing horribly. So that should be an awesome show. It's a great way to open the season. So that's if you find yourself in the Del Rio area and you would like to attend a performance, the show opens February 6th. The weekend be Friday and Saturday, so it's the 6th and 7th, and then also the following weekend, the 13th and 14th. So again, February 6th, 7th, 13th, and 14th. If you're in the area, I encourage you to check out the show. You can buy tickets ahead, or you can buy them at the box office. So check that out. Let's hit a little Ms. Trivia before we shut down here. Okay, so next Del Rio Dive Club meeting is 19 February at 7 p.m. at Rudy's Restaurant. So, again, even though it's winter time, you can get together and just have some great food. Rudy's has got some great barbecue. And my wife, I have it on good authority from my wife that the baked potatoes are awesome. But anyway, have some great food. Just enjoy some chatting, talking about dive experiences, maybe planning some stuff for the new year. And then also, if you are not a diver, but you've been thinking, this could be the year, 2015 could be the year, there is no time like the present. So I've got the basic dive classes for those who have never been diving. Basic classes scheduled for this year. And, of course, I can make the advanced courses available based on popular demand. But the ones I typically get the call for the most are, of course, the first classes. So if you're interested and you'd like to do it, our class schedule is April 23rd through the 26th, or we also have one May 28th through the 31st, June 25th through the 28th, July 23rd through the 26th, August 27th through the 30th, and September 24th through the 28th. Now, the way we handle the classes is you sign up no later than the first week of the month of that class. You can sign up earlier. You can sign up much earlier than the month that you are planning to take the class, but no later than the first week. Because what I'll do then is order your student materials, which consist of a DVD, self-study workbook, dive tables, etc. And so you'll do the self-study. You'll complete the elements of the various work areas in the workbook, and then we come together for that compressed schedule. So we get together on a Thursday and Friday evening, and we go over the knowledge reviews and take your quizzes and final exam, and then pretty much all day Saturday, and then all afternoon on Sunday to get your actual practicals, the pool work on Saturday, and then some of the open water on Saturday, and then finishing up on Sunday afternoon. So the reason I have that compressed schedule, and I can do special classes differently. If you need something unique, it'll cost you a little bit more, but this is the way I've got it set up, mostly because I'm having to accommodate a rather unique group of folks here. I see a lot of pilots as well as Border Patrol folks here. So they usually don't have a lot of time, and for the pilots, it's like, okay, we've got to get this done because I'm going to be flying. So that's why I have this compressed schedule. It allows them to do the self-study ahead, and then we come together for the actual class. So again, sign up no later than the first week of the month of the class you want to take, but you can sign up earlier than that if you wish to. Also, if you are in the area and you need air fill, we've got a big cascade system. I say we. The Del Rio area has a big cascade system run by Mike McCarson out at Broke Mill RV Park. He set up a special building just for the cascade system. And that's out on Highway 90 West. But just give him a call ahead so he knows you're coming, so he can make sure that the system is fired up and that the cascade tanks have sufficient pressure. Just give him a call at 830-719-2935. And as always, I always plug for a Pet's Wish, which is the pet rescue that we volunteer for. They're constantly looking for volunteers. Somebody who can be consistent. One of these days, I may, on a Monday night because we volunteer every Monday night, I may video some of the stuff that we do there and share that with you on a future podcast so you can really see how desperately we need the help out there. It's tough to do what we do there and handle the volume of neglected, abused, dumped animals that we handle there. So we could really use your help, volunteers especially, but then certainly money to help cover the cost of veterinary bills, electricity, a number of other things that just cost, the food, etc. So please check them out. They also are on Facebook, and they have a website. So A Pet's Wish in Del Rio, Texas. If you would like to keep in touch with us, just follow our dive club website, delriodiveclub.com, or to be more interactive with us, check us out on Facebook. Like our page, Del Rio Dive Club, there as well. We also have Skype. So if you want to communicate through Skype, you can add us as a friend. Just look for TGWD. And then also, if you would like to communicate with me directly, one way you can do so is send me an email. Just send it right here, just lower third. Send it to robert.wade@cetifox.net. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, just look for Robert CFP. That CFP stands for Ceti Fox Productions. I will warn you about that, though. I tend to tweet about a number of things, but I'm kind of a political activist, so if you want to share in my postings about that, you can follow me on Twitter. Otherwise, I recommend the Facebook or the email pathway. So that pretty much finishes us out for this week. If all goes well, we'll be working on, we have special guests at our church coming up next week. And so luckily we're not doing anything Saturday evening, but barring any unforeseen circumstances, I'll be right here again. And again, like I said, if you're in the area, diver or not, actually, and you would like to try your hand at co-hosting the show, I've got the doors wide open. Love to hear from you. Just let me know that you'd like to try it out, and we'll see if you like it. It's a lot of fun, and gives you an opportunity to do something not a lot of people do, although more people can do it than actually do it. But we've got a great little facility set up here for you, and I'd love to have you, bring you on board to become a regular participating co-host in our show. So without any further ado, we'll close things off for this week. Hope you enjoy watching it live or on YouTube later, and we will see you next week on another exciting episode of Two Guys Who Dive. See ya.